New state government releases results of common entrance examination. Sorting and counting of votes underway in Osrc state governorship election. Bandits kidnap another 2 priests in Kaduna. From the foreign scene, our state leader says he did utmost for bankrupt Sri Lanka. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the news at 7. I am Jane. I know. The state government has announced the release of the result of the 2022 Common Entrance Examination, also known as Placement Examination, into the state's public secondary schools. Over 69,000 pupils from both public and private primary schools across the state took part in the examination held on Saturday, July 2nd, 2022 at designated centers across the state. Our Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Mrs. Lola Amanda, said candidates could check their results through the ministry's website, www.odsgexams.com. She admonished the candidates to log in using the PIN on their registration sheet and then click Check Results. Still talking education, Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has approved the recruitment of additional 10,000 teachers by the State Universal Basic Education Board. A statement by the board chairman, Tijani Abdullahi, said that the board has commissioned Kaduna State University to design and upload a recruitment portal, which will go live on Thursday, July 21st, 2022. The chairman explained that suitably qualified candidates with either a National Certificate of Education (NCE) from an accredited institution, a bachelor's degree in education in any discipline from a reputable university are eligible to apply. According to him, the portal will be open for 2 weeks from the first day it goes live on July 21st, 2022 to August 5th, 2022 when it will be closed. The new Minister of State for Transportation, Prince Ademola Adegoroye, says the people of Akure would never forget the good deeds of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu towards advancing the state and promoting human development. During a thank you visit to Governor Akeredolu in Akure, the minister noted that the governor made it possible for an Akure indigene to become a minister for the first time. Prince Adegoroye, who could not hide his joy, thanked God Almighty and Akure's sons and daughters for his elevation. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole reports that the minister visited the governor in company of his wife and hundreds of supporters, including party faithful.
It was a carnival-like reception for the new Minister of State for Transportation, Prince Ademola Adegoroye, an indigene of Akure, as he paid a thank-you visit to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu following his inauguration as a member of the Federal Executive Council. The new minister, in company of his wife, Olufunke, and hundreds of Akure sons and daughters, were at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the governor's office to say thank you. Prince Adegoroye, who was quick to thank Governor Akeredolu for playing key roles leading to his emergence, noted that this is the first time an Akure man will be appointed minister.
When a man has integrity, when he says yes, yes, but I said, go, I will back you. Everybody who knows me knows I will not tell you that. I will say that. We are alive and well. In the name of Jesus.
Governor Akeredolu, who expressed delight over the appointment of Prince Adegoroye as minister, attributed the success to the grace of God.
jẹ́ ká fi gbogbo ìlọ́lọ́run lọ́wọ́ kò ní ìdájọ́ ọ̀kọ́jú à ẹ̀kọ́ wọn sọ ọ̀kọ́jú àgbáyé kan máa yọ ọkọ̀ méjì mẹ́ta mẹ́rin kò nẹ́sẹ̀sì èyí tó ti mú ọlọ́ àgbà lọ fún ọlọ́run fún ara ẹ̀ bá gbọ́ kò ní mọ̀ ẹ̀rọ ọ̀nà àbáyọ lélẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ fẹ́ yẹn àdẹ̀bà pípẹ́ ọ̀nà ara ọlọ́run ti ṣiṣẹ́ kò lè yé gbogbo wa kò lè yé wa ọlọ́run ti ṣe fún ẹ tàbí ẹ̀rọ kì í ṣe ẹ̀dá tó ṣe kì í ṣe àpètì ọlọ́run sọ kó tó lọ́dọ̀ bá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fún mi ṣàlẹ́sẹ̀ àsìkò ọlọ́run ló tó ká máa dúpẹ́ lọ́lọ́run.
The governor pleaded with the people not to distract the new minister with endless demands and requests. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
For the year 2022 have organized special prayers for Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. At a special prayer meeting of Chairman Muslim Welfare Board Alhaji Adams Chandi, enjoining the pilgrims not to relent prayers for the governor for the love he has demonstrated for the Muslim faithful in the state. The prayers in different languages besought Almighty Allah to give Akeredolu long life in good health and protection over his family and the people of the state. In his sermon during the prayers, an Islamic scholar, Sheikh Abdul Rafiu Lagwaji, described Akeredolu as an exemplary leader that loved his people. Residents of Akure have called on government to accelerate efforts aimed at widening road networks in the state capital of potholes. The call follows what the people refer to as worrisome state of existing roads in some parts of the metropolis, which require dire maintenance. Osrc Zaida Ibsa reports that the belief among respondents is that regular maintenance of road networks will save the government huge expenses associated with road construction.
For motorists, nothing comes as good as driving on a smooth road. Aside the attendant benefit on the driver, the motor vehicle is safe from unnecessary damages. One of the cardinal agenda of the current administration in Ondo State is the emplacement of infrastructure, which has resulted in the construction of roads in different parts of the state. While existing roads with potholes, particularly around the Alagbaka axis, have received attention, some residents in other areas of the state capital want government to attend to potholes in their area.
The condition of this road is very, very bad, to be realistic. And because of this, some of the vehicle, the commercial driver, they have refused to come here. And few of them who can take the courage, they charge exorbitant fare. We have been pleading with government, begging them to help us concerning the situation of the road. As you can see, a lot of pothole. The journey that should take you just 30 minutes now is going beyond that because of the road. And the commercial driver too, they are complaining that the amount they are spending on their vehicle is too much.
Àwọn táìtì tó ń wá sí bíbá tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n ti reduce wọn ò tó nǹkan mọ́ so ọ̀nà ò wà òkè kí àwọn ìjọba wa kán kí wọ́n síjú àánú ò wà.
Ìgbà míì tó gbòòrò bá bàbá kì í wálé àdé àtàná báyìí mo jáde lọ́jọ́ kínní tó gbòòrò ẹ̀ gbogbo ni mo sùn kán ṣàánú wa kán tẹ̀ bá wa ṣọ̀nà kán ro tọ́ náà mọ́ wa lára.
A bẹ̀ gómìnà wa kó jọ kó ràn wá lọ́wọ́ nípa ọ̀nà ọ̀ṣinlẹ̀ yìí ọ̀nà ọ̀ṣinlẹ̀ yìí ti bàjẹ́ jù kò sí eléyìí tó ṣe rìn bẹ́ẹ̀ so kò sí gbogbo ibi tẹ́ dé bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ti ń dé bẹ́ẹ̀ nínú ká máa já sí gallop ká máa wọ kìíní kéèyàn máa rìn lọ ká máa ta omi sí ìyàn lára wọ́n á dọ́jì gallop débi pé wọ́n ń kọlù ìyàn ní gbogbo ọ̀nà bí dé káwọ̀ọ̀ṣì dé Olúkáyọ̀dé èmi náà mo ṣiṣẹ́ ń bì so ibi tí mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ọkàn mi balẹ̀ ibẹ̀ gbà mí láàyè tí mo ráyè ń ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa so kò sáàyè mọ́ dáadáa so nínú mọ́tò bíi méjì wọ́n wà ráyè gbàbẹ̀ láti kọjá láti lè ṣiṣẹ́ tó tẹ́ mi lọ́rùn bó ṣe wù mí.
tójò bá ti ń rọ̀ báyìí àwa gan tá à ń ṣe bíi a máa páàkì wọlé ni bó ṣe aago mẹ́rin ìrọ̀lẹ́ lórí rọ̀ closing ní fún gbogbo anybody tó wà bí àgbàrá ìgbà mi gan adébi dodo mi gbà mí ọjọ́ kan gan gbà tó ń rọ̀ ọmọ kan ṣubú sí wọnú kọ́tà yẹn tó yẹ pé mi fúnra mi gan ni mo fa jáde gbogbo àdúgbò gan wọ́n kígbe so kò sí mọ́tò gan àgbàrá máa ń gba mọ́tò bíi ni.
ṣé tẹ̀ rí àárín wa ń bí omi tó ń kọjá ń bì kò sí ìgbà tó jọba rọ̀ nínú ká máa du ọlọ́kadà ni ọ̀ ká máa du àwọn kẹ̀kẹ́ náà pẹ̀ kò sí mọ́tò máa páàkì fún ni.
The people are confident that adequate maintenance of existing roads will increase the lifespan of such roads, thus saving government wholesome funds for reconstruction. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Now on politics in Osun State, sorting and counting of votes in today's governorship election in Osun State are still ongoing to determine the winner of the gubernatorial contest. The process was at the beginning of voting adjudged well conducted with some accolades given to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Details as presented from our studios.
The D-Day finally came and the people of Osun State gathered to exercise their voting right to choose who leads them as governor of the state for the next 4 years. The election took place in 3,763 polling units across 332 registration areas in 30 local government areas of the state, according to data by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Osun State also has 3 senatorial districts, 9 federal constituencies, and 23 state constituencies. 15 political parties were represented in the contest for the next governor of the state. The candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC and incumbent governor, Boyega Oyetola, voted at his country home, Iragbiji, while the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, also voted at his Ede country home.
Turnout is very, very impressive. But we want this election to be a point of contact for 2023. The whole world is watching us.
Candidate of the Labour Party and former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yusuf Lassun, who did not pass early comment on the election, however commended the turnout of voters at this polling unit but warned against the emerging trend of vote trading in the Nigerian polity. Security agencies, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), were also on ground to provide adequate security during the election. The EFCC said it arrested at least 3 suspects over allegations of vote buying in the election. It said the suspects who were captured allegedly trading votes for cash were apprehended through actionable intelligence and digital means. Some of the suspects were arrested around Ward 2, Unit 2, Ifelodun Street at Isale Osun in Osogbo. As at the time of filing this report, sorting and counting of votes were still ongoing.
And now on the safety of corps members in Osrc State during election, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Mohammed Fada, has positively reviewed the deployment of corps members for the Osrc State governorship election and the conduct of the poll. When asked about the poll in Osogbo, the NYSC DG said the place was more peaceful than Ekiti, noting that there was no report of violence. He said about 10,000 corps members were deployed for the election in which 15 candidates were racing to govern the state for the next 4 years. Over the years, there have been questions and concerns about the welfare of corps members deployed for elections. But in Osun, the NYSC boss, who said he went round to monitor the conduct of the poll, believes there is no cause for concern. Brigadier General Fada also praised the partnership between the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the NYSC, describing it as a good relationship for national development. You're watching the news at 7. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll serve you more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. The commercial town of Ore was on Saturday thrown into mourning as no fewer than 8 people lost their lives in an accident at Ajue axis of Ondo Ore Road. According to eyewitnesses, 7 big cows also died in the accident. A very accident was said to have occurred when an Akure-bound commercial picnic car had a head-on collision with an Ore-bound cow-carrying lorry while trying to dodge a pothole on the road. It took the effort of other motorists and residents around the area to remove the bodies of the victims and from the accidental vehicle. Residents attributed the high rate of accidents in the area to the deplorable condition of roads in the area. Ensuring a better life for the girl child in society is a task that must not be left in the hands of the government alone. This perhaps informed the school's outreach of Deeper Life Bible Church, Akure North Region, targeted at encouraging the girl child for proper orientation. Organizers of the program say they believe that providing the right information for schoolgirls will help in shaping their future. Amoyela Obeji has more.
Gender inequality and low self-esteem are part of major challenges facing girl child in society, hence the need for early sensitization. Deeper Life School's outreach, organized by the Akure North region of the church, gathered girls to rekindle the potentials in them and enable them set agenda for their future. Various speakers on different topics, from joy of being a girl child to managing failed expectations, took the attention of the children, who were keenly listening to the life-changing messages. They said potentials in girl child are enormous, saying the success of men lies in the hands of women, and want them to prepare themselves to change the narrative and bring breakthrough to mankind.
Don't open the door to the demon of confusion, depression, and insanity. Don't open the door to them. As a little child, God has created us with several potentials that men don't have. And I want to tell you, I'm not running men down, but they are our head. I also want you to know that according to the usual saying, that behind every successful man is what? Woman. We can't continue to do the same thing the same way and expect a different result. Our children right now are more predisposed, more than ever, to distractions. And so if our parenting style remains the same, then we may not be able to get them.
Regional Women Coordinator of the Church, Mrs. Margaret Oguneyi, and Sisters and Youth Coordinator, Yewande Olufumi, said the church is passionate about the future of girl child in society, hence the need to catch them young.
We believe that all the dormant giants in them are already awakened. So we believe that we are going to have a better future for these children tomorrow. After secondary school, the next thing we hear them do is selling on the streets, carrying pregnancy without any purpose. Now look around at how do we catch them young?
Special advisor to Governor Akeredolu on gender, Olamide Falana, encouraged the children to aim higher and see bigger picture ahead of them and work towards it.
When you are here for a purpose, then you must live your life as you are designed to actually achieve something from this life.
Meanwhile, the church confirmed that plans are underway to also bring boys together for sensitization. Omoriola Hungiji, OSRC News.
Now to Kaduna State, 2 more priests of the Catholic Church have been kidnapped by bandits in Kaduna State. It was gathered that 2 priests, Reverend Father John Chetnam and Reverend Father Donatus Cleopas, were abducted on Friday evening in Jere local government area of the state. The abduction comes less than 2 weeks after another priest, Reverend Father Emmanuel Silas, was kidnapped by bandits from the parish rectory of St. Charles Catholic Church, Zamina, in Kauru local government area. Although security agencies are yet to confirm the incident, the Chancellor of Kafancha Catholic Diocese, Reverend Father Emmanuel Okolo, spoke about the abduction. In a statement, Okolo said the two priests were kidnapped by bandits at about 5 p.m. on Friday while they were on pastoral duty at the rectory of Christ the King Catholic Church, Yadin, Garu. The Catholic Chancellor prayed for the safe and quick return of the abducted priests and urged members of the Catholic community in Kafancha to remain law-abiding and prayerful. And now on the foreign scene, Sri Lanka's ousted President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says he did his utmost to avoid an economic catastrophe, but the coronavirus pandemic derailed his efforts. In his resignation letter read out to Parliament today, the erstwhile leader said he did his best. Gotabaya Rajapaksa's brief note sent from the safety of a safe haven in Singapore blamed COVID-19 for the financial meltdown that triggered months after protest, culminating in his humiliating escape abroad. It was not clear whether he was signaling an intention to remain involved in politics from exile. A prolonged heat wave has caused droughts in parts of Italy and Spain, Portugal and France. Meteorologists say climate change is making both droughts and heat waves more frequent. Doyin Ayebusi completes the story.
From the northwest to the south, Spaniards are sweltering. In the Odolessia region, the mercury soared to 45.6 degrees Celsius on Wednesday. The government is warning people to be cautious and avoid going outdoors unless absolutely necessary.
With so much heat, people don't leave their homes so early, so there are no customers until later in the day.
This is the second heat wave in Western Europe in a matter of weeks. Forest fires are burning near the border with Portugal and northwest of Madrid, where hundreds of residents have had to leave their homes. France and Portugal are also battling wildfires, and at least one person has died. There is a drought in Spain. Water reserves have shrunk more than 20% this year.
We say to ourselves, but how are we going to end up? Either we see a lack of water or a desert.
It's not so much for us, but for our children and grandchildren.
The conditions have made it impossible for barley and wheat farmers to take full advantage of the rising cost of cereals.
It would be a loss of 30 to 40%, and in some areas of the province of Lleida we're talking about 60, 70, 80% loss.
Meteorologists say climate change is making both drought and heat waves more frequent. Spaniards aren't expected to get much relief from the high temperatures until Sunday. Oladoyin Ayegbusi, Osrc News.
Now on sport, Tokyo is to be the host of the 2025 World Athletics Championships, beating competition from Kenya, Poland and Singapore. Announcing the decision, the World Athletics President, Sebastian Coe, said Tokyo offered a compelling bid among an extremely strong field of candidates. The announcement was made on the eve of the opening of the 2022 Championships in the U.S. state of Oregon. Last year, Tokyo hosted a delayed Olympics game behind closed doors because of the coronavirus pandemic. To end the Osrc news at 7, here again are the major stories. The Ondo State government has announced the release of results of the 2022 Common Entrance Examination into state public secondary schools. And we also told you sorting and counting of votes are still underway in the Osrc State governorship election as Nigerians await announcement of the election results by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Bandits have again kidnapped 2 more priests of the Catholic Church in Kaduna State. The abduction comes less than 2 weeks after another priest was abducted. From the foreign scene, Sri Lanka's ousted President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has insisted he tried his best to avoid economic crisis, but the coronavirus pandemic derailed his efforts. And that concludes the news at 7. Thank you for watching. Good evening.